I don't make a gender distinction.
Really?
I know too many women who can kick my ass.
You
know what I mean? Like
I don't think you know
many...
That's not true.
I do.
Name one who could kick your ass. So I'm 6'1", or was before I had back surgery.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to be real with each other here. You know what I mean?
Well, you're a lot taller than I am. Okay, so I'm just saying. And you're famously a bodybuilder. There's not one woman in America who could kick your ass. It's just not true, and you know it's not true. And you have to say it to like make the unhappy, unmarried.
You went to the UFC fight. You think you could get in there with the women who are fighting and come out looking like that?
No, I'm saying you specifically.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I have a polygraph exam, and I didn't want to have to do this on camera, okay? But if I applied it to you...
I would pass in flying colors because I know how to beat the test. And I can tell you how if you want to know. Okay, that's why they're not admissible in court.
But can I just ask you, like, you know in your heart you don't actually think there's a single woman in this
really do.
What's her name?
I really do. I know. The whole point is that I don't have to know them by person.
Men and women are very different, much more different. You know, we spend all of our time on racial differences. Your race, my race, and there are differences between races. There is no difference between races that's a quarter as profound as the difference between sexes. These are biological differences that are physical, they're psychological, they're hormonal. These are profound differences.
But that's kind of the point about drawing racial distinctions, is that you're really the same. And obviously,
that's my point.
Biologically, you're different. But what I'm saying, I don't see it as a less than. Can women lift as much weight as men on average? Of course not.
No. I'm making the opposite argument. It's not less than. I like women better. And I think that my job, all of our jobs as men, is to treat women differently, and better than we treat men. That is the idea. Oh, that's chivalry. Yeah, okay, honey. Good luck in a world without it. And I'm serious. If you got into an argument, and I know you well enough to know, if you're standing in a restaurant and someone's like, fuck you, Chris Cuomo, you'd punch him out. If a woman did that...
Depends where my cash flow is. I really don't have a lot of capital right now.
You would want to. You're quick with the punches.
I would definitely want to.
I happen to know that. If a woman got way up in your face... You would know exactly.
I wouldn't.
Exactly. So it is a bigger sin, not just against her, but against yourself and your dignity and your responsibility as a man. Your job is to protect women.
I'll give you the gender. Period. I don't see it exactly the same way.
Because you don't want to admit it. You're telling me some girl's going to kick your ass, and you know that's not true.
Hold on. There are women who could. Okay, there's no question in my mind. There are all these professional fighters and women who train in self-defense who will beat my ass. I'm a 53-year-old guy.
How many female fighters have gone against male fighters? They're roughly the same.
Very rare. Although, did you see that girl who just won the high school wrestling championship? That was cool.
It must have been a light. Well, look,
she was in the boy. It was lightweight, but
they're extraordinary
they fight
female
women.
athletes.
It's unfair. By weight and muscle.
But it's not just unfair. It's immoral. It's totally wrong.
I don't know that it's immoral. If a woman feels...
not immoral, then why do we have a Violence Against Women's Act?
If the... Well...
why do we specify in law that it's worse?
Hold on. But there's a through line.
Yeah.
You have violence against women because you have a cultural preset of victimizing women and putting them in positions that are inferior. And it was important enough that society decided to punish it extra.
No, it's not the, it's illegal to be as, fair to women act. It's not the illegal to...
Should be.
Maybe.
You should have that also.
Maybe.
Because there's gender inequality.
Violence against women.
Because you have a culture of where men, you know what the rule of thumb is? The rule of thumb comes from British common law. Okay. You can beat your wife with anything that's not thicker than your thumb.
Actually,
it's a stupid culture.
The British Empire is the empire that stopped widow burning in India. There was no force for female liberation more powerful than the British Empire, ever, until the American Empire showed up and inverted it and started telling women true liberation is working for some soulless company that hates you and will pay for your insurance to freeze your eggs so you can put off what you really want to do in life and work for us. That's not...
Liberation is choice. Is that you get to make your own choices. People don't make them for you.
Well...
did you just blow off my point?
Well, I did to this extent. Of course, liberation is choice, but these are choices that individuals don't get to make, like how's your economy structured? And as Elizabeth Warren...
there are structural things that take away your choice. That is true.
You think? The inability to raise children on a single income? is like the biggest change in American society.
But when you propose something like family leave or allowing men or women to be able to be there with the newborn, nobody wants to give them money for it.
Men to be there with the newborn?
Yeah.
Huh.
Other countries, what, you didn't spend time with your kids when they were first born?
Of course I did, and I have a lot of children. But so I know for a fact, not as a matter of theory, that a child needs two parents and that each parent brings something vital but different to parenting. But the one thing I definitely know is that there's not one man on the planet who knows intuitively what to do with a newborn. There's a period for the first several months that if you're not a woman, you are not comfortable making the right choices for a newborn. That's just true. And if you can find a man who's totally comfortable around a newborn the way any 5-year-old girl is, then I will give you $1,000, because you can't. It's like finding the girl who can beat you up. You can't, because there isn't one.
I'm telling you.
And so the truth is, the difference between men and women, no one wants to admit it because we're like, oh,
it's not that.
It's not totally that.
Look, I'm telling you,
our whole conversation is, we're like in a hammerlock. There's a tiny percentage of the U.S. population, which is an overwhelming percentage of the Democratic electorate, which is unhappy, unmarried women, and they control what everyone can say. And they don't want to have the conversation, and they're like, oh, you hate women. Yeah, I hate women. I don't think I do. The people who think it's okay to punch them in the face, the people who don't punish rapists, the people who allow you to be afraid on the subway, those people hate women. The ones who are telling you, forgo your family to work at Citibank, those people hate you. Obviously.
There are definitely people that hate women. There's a real thing. There's definitely a cultural problem we have in terms of allowing.
We love you so much.
Allowing women to have the same exercise of options that men have, and we know this. And there are different ways to correct it, and sometimes you go too far and in the wrong directions. But I don't think there's anything wrong.
But it's always the same direction. It's always the give up your family. If you read any survey of women, what do they want? They want a lot of different things. We all do.
But men want that too. Didn't you get married to have kids?
No. I got married
because... You didn't want to start a family?
Not really, no. But I got engaged at 21.
Yeah, you were very young.
Yeah, I was super young, and I was.
And you guys had been together.
Well, I was also especially shallow, and I got married because I really liked my wife, and I thought she was hot, and so I married her, and she was the one who was like, "We should have children." And I was like, "Oh, that's whatever. It's not even interesting."
Well, she had to be thinking, "What am I going to get out of this?" Well, like this was, I'm a Christian, so I'm stuck. But this is not what I thought.
I think there's possibly some truth in that. But the point is, if you ask women what they want, the overwhelming majority will say, I want to be married and have children. And
you don't think men want that also?
Yeah, they may do. I mean, I did, and ultimately.
That's why I got married.
100%. I'm talking specifically about women. They want to be married and have children, and that is the thing that the Democratic Party prevents them from having through policy. And the reason they do that is because the single most important constituency, as you well know, is not black voters. They always say that it's black voters. No, it's unmarried women of all races. And so they do a lot of different things to discourage marriage and fertility. One of them is paying single moms not to be married. Another is constantly promoting anti-fertility measures like abortion and birth control. They actively work to prevent women from forming families. And I think that's evil. And I don't think it serves women at all. That's my view.